Hey everybody, this is Anthony with VR Game Rankings, and you are tuned in to episode 91 of the daily vlog series. It is Monday, February 5th. Now, I hope everybody is recovering from that awesome Super Bowl that we saw last night. The New England Patriots have finally lost a Super Bowl. I mean, how awesome is that? I know they've lost a Super Bowl already, but I got to tell you, man, if there's one team that I root against in the NFL, it is the New England Patriots. I hate to be a hater, but man, those guys, they've had too much success, way too much success for any one franchise. So I'm very happy for the Philadelphia Eagles that they were able to win their first Super Bowl championship. I think that's their first Super Bowl championship, if I'm not mistaken. Philadelphia is an incredible sports town, absolutely awesome sports town. I remember they booed Santa Claus in one game. That was kind of crazy, but Philadelphia is a wonderful sports town. They deserve this championship. The team has played great. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles, and to all you New England Patriot fans, sorry, this has to happen every once in a while. So tough titty, basically, is like what I like to say about that. But anyway, so we had the Super Bowl last night, but it is a brand new week. And with a brand new week is a brand new slate of the VR Game Ranking Daily Vlog series. And so let's go ahead and jump into it. And story one for today is a story that I wasn't sure. Should this be on VR Game Rankings Daily Vlog? I don't know, because this isn't really a gaming story. It's not even a virtual reality story. But the thing that I want to talk about real quick here is, when it comes to the daily vlog series and when it comes to VR Game Rankings, yes, we are very focused on virtual reality, and we're specifically focused on virtual reality gaming. But at the same time, I think that it's important that we have an opportunity to broaden our reach and sometimes cover some of these things that are kind of slight offshoots of where we're going as far as virtual reality. So we will cover augmented reality. We will cover non-gaming stuff, because the thing about this industry is we are on the cusp of something really interesting that is going to go on over the next, say, 10 to 15 years, because we're at the very beginning stages of this virtual augmented reality revolution that is going to take place. Now, we have virtual reality, we have augmented reality, and there's going to be so many cross-pollination situations going on between these two technologies. They're going to blend into each other. Virtual reality is going to start to get more and more like augmented reality. Augmented reality is going to start to get more and more like virtual reality, and they're all going to kind of blend in with each other. So I think sometimes we might have a story that is a little bit outside of our normal purview, but I think it's well worth covering anyway. And so what am I talking about here? Basically, what I'm talking about is I'm talking about Intel's Vaunt smart glasses. Okay, so all credit goes to The Verge on this. The Verge has a huge article on the Intel Vaunt smart glasses. They also have a really nice video on the Intel Vaunt smart glasses, and you will see pictures and you will see video, and all of this is coming from The Verge. So I definitely want to give credit to The Verge, and I want to encourage everyone, if you have any interest in this first topic, definitely go over to the Verge website, check out their in-depth article on this, and check out their in-depth video. They've got a lot of great information, and probably well more details than I'm going to cover right here, but I just want to kind of give my quick take on this. So basically last week we heard that Bloomberg heard that Intel has some type of smart glasses or some type of AR glasses that they were working on, and this information kind of leaked out and it kind of broke. This was going to be a story I was going to cover last week, but I didn't get around to it. but now it's fully blown out and it's wide open. And so Verge has this breakout story on it, and so we now know exactly what is going on. So basically Intel is getting into the smart glasses game. Now, it's very possible that when these things hit retail stores, it might not have Intel on the side of it. They might be partnering with some other companies to bring this into retail channels, but Intel is definitely getting into this AR, augmented reality, smart glasses situation. Now, this isn't really a gaming thing, but I still think this is worth highlighting because the key factor to these glasses that Intel has shown off is they are incredibly lightweight, and they basically look like your average pair of glasses, which I think this is the real key here. This is what I want to focus on this story, because I think for VR and for AR, for the long-term success of VR and AR, it needs to have absolute widespread adoption across the entire range of the human experience. And what I mean by this is you need to have grandmas that are using VR and AR. You need to have 8-year-old kids that are using VR and AR, and you need to have everybody in between, every possibility in between. Now, if you look at smartphones, if you look at the adoption of smartphones, you have grandmas using smartphones. You have 8-year-old kids using smartphones. The adoption for smartphones is across the board. It is as widespread and as mainstream as possible. And I think the long-term future for VR and AR, I'm talking like 10 to 15 years out, we need to get to this point, because if we want the entertainment experiences that we're really looking for, if we want VR movies and AR movies and VR gaming and AR gaming and all the kind of incredible experiences that we could possibly get, we need to have this full bore widespread adoption. And I think a big part of that is making it inobtrusive and making it seem relatively normal. And that's what these glasses do. These glasses weigh about 50 grams, which is more than your average eyeglasses, but nowhere near, say, what Google Glass weighed. So these are very lightweight. In fact, this project, I believe, was codenamed Superlight. Intel had the name Superlight for this project until it got revealed that it was called Vaunt. And their whole goal with this project was to make these glasses incredibly lightweight and to make everything kind of blend seamlessly in, so that it's just like you're wearing a pair of glasses, and it's not this like techno dork kind of thing that is going on with like Google Glass. That's the main reason Google Glass didn't take off, is because if anybody saw anybody wearing Google Glasses, they're like, oh, look at this asshole. You know, he's walking around. He's probably filming everybody. I mean, you know, what is going on here? These glasses have no cameras whatsoever. And so you might be asking yourself, well, what the hell do these glasses do? The truth is, they don't really do a whole hell of a lot. That's the downside of this story. They don't do a whole hell of a lot, but we don't know where this is going to go. And so I don't think we want to snip it in the butt right now, because we don't know where this could lead to. We don't know what developers can do with this. So what these glasses are going to do in the early stages of this is it's pretty much just going to be notifications. It's basically going to be like your Apple Watch or a smartwatch that is connected to your phone, and you just kind of get notifications. Somebody's calling you, you know who it is, you just got an email from somebody, or if you want to set up an alarm to remind you at 1 o'clock you got this appointment that you got to go to, whatever it is, that's pretty much what these glasses do. So they connect to your smartphone, and there is a little laser that is in these glasses, a little red laser. And what it does is it shines, it projects an image onto this like holographic mirror that then shoots that image into the back of your retina. And so ultimately what ends up happening is you have this little rectangular screen that shows up just kind of in the corner, in your lower periphery vision, about 15 degrees below where your normal eye level is in one of your eyes. and it's basically 400 by 150 pixels of information, and it'll let you know, so-and-so called, or you have an email from this, or whatever it is, and you can kind of control how much of that information you want to come in. So you don't have to always be interrupted by this stuff. And then the other cool thing about this is the way these glasses work is if you're not looking down at that area, there's nothing there. So it doesn't show you anything there until you look down at it. So it's not always in your vision, like always having things all over the place. So you're kind of living a normal life, but every once in a while you can look down and you can get a little message. So there's some interesting things that can go on here. This is using a laser, but it's the very bottom of class 1 laser, like one of the lowest powered class 1 lasers there are. So they didn't even need to get like FCC approval or any kind of health warnings or anything, because some people wonder, well, man, you're shooting a laser right into my freaking eyeball. I mean, you're literally shooting a laser right into my eyeball. Is this safe? But this is the very bottom tier of a class 1 laser, one of the absolute lowest powered lasers, supposedly 100% safe. So no real worry there. And so basically, yeah, that's what these glasses do. They're going to give you information. So I'm just kind of interested where this might go long term, but I do think these things are interesting. I think it's worth talking about. And that, of course, is these new Intel Vaunt smart glasses. And be sure, once again, like I said, bounce over to The Verge, check out their full story, check out their full video, a lot more information there. Now, this product isn't coming in the very near future. It's just going to develop. It's going to go to developers first. They're going to work on it, figure out what apps that they can add to something like this, little possible games that you might even be able to play just using gestures from your head and your eyeballs, and just whatever they can possibly come up with here. So this is a totally new thing. We don't really know what's going to come out of all of this, but eventually this is going to hit retail, possibly under a completely new, a different company, probably not under Intel, but eventually this is going to hit the market, and we definitely want to keep our eyes on that. So that is the Intel Vaunt smart glasses. Okay, so story number 2, this is also not, this is a VR gaming story actually, but this is a little bit off the beaten path. So this story that I want to get into is, there was a comment on my most recent video, episode 90, Andy Sky commented. Now, this was in regards to In Death, because I talked about In Death for quite a lengthy period of time towards the end of episode 90, giving my impressions of it. And I said several times, this is not a review, this is my first impressions. And so Andy Sky said, "You forgot to mention that In Death game is just an early access game, so you can't give a final score on that one right now. Lots of new things will come." Okay, Andy, I beg to differ. I'm going to go off on a little rant right here, because I don't believe in early access in the way a lot of people believe in early access. I've heard this argument before. I've reviewed early access games. There's plenty of early access games that I've reviewed. Some games go into early access. They're in early access for damn near a year, and then a year later they come out of early access. Am I going to wait a year to review a game? No, I'm not. This is my take on the whole early access thing. I'm going to make this real clear and real simple. If you are charging money for a product or a service, you are open to reviews. You are open to criticism. I don't give a F if you put early access on it, or you could put any title on it you want. If you are selling a product, if you are taking money, if you're willing to take my money, then you have to be willing to take my criticism. And that is just straight up. So early access, early schmaccess, I don't give a damn. These games, I will review them. Now, what I will say is I will concede the fact that something could be in early access, and maybe 4 months later, the game is dramatically better, and I can concede that fact. And so when I do review an early access game, what I'm doing is I'm reviewing it at that moment in time, and that is my take on that game at that moment in time. Now, If a game dramatically improves by leaps and bounds, I have no problem revisiting the game and adjusting my review accordingly when a game improves by leaps and bounds. But one of the things that I've noticed with a lot of this early access stuff is the game that comes out in early access and is relatively crap, and then 5 months later it's a polished gem and it's a wonderful game. Like, that is a very rare thing. That does not happen very often. I'm sorry, that is incredibly rare. It doesn't happen very often. Normally what happens is you have a game, it comes out in early access, and the final version isn't that much different. We don't typically see these dramatic jumps in improvement over the course of the game. Now, I know there's exceptions. There's always exceptions. There's exceptions to everything. But what I'm saying is that no, Andy Sky, if you disagree with this, that's fine. Go ahead. Anybody out there can disagree with this. I will review early access games, and I always come back to this point. They're taking people's money. They are accepting people's money. If you are accepting people's money, then you gotta accept criticism that could possibly come along with it, or praise. You know, there could be praise as well. I've played plenty of early access games that were just as good as a non-early access game. They were 95% of the finished game was there. Technically, yeah, it was early access, but I've given some incredible scores to early access games. So I don't buy in this idea that you cannot review an early access game. So that's my take on that. That's my rant on that. And, you know, if you guys disagree, go ahead. This is an interesting discussion. We can get into this again. If you guys disagree, go ahead and leave a comment. Or if you do agree with this, go ahead and leave a comment. And, you know, my final thought on it is, yeah, I should revisit these games if they do make improvements by leaps and bounds. But I honestly do not feel bad about reviewing an early access game. And I don't think anybody should think that that's a wrong thing. But, you know, everybody has their own opinion. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the final topic of the show. And the final topic for this Monday show is that there is a very nice sale that is going on at the Humble Store. Now, normally when we think of the Humble Store, we think about the Humble Indie Bundles. And these are typically these bundles of games where you have to buy a big group of games and you get a whole bunch of games and you have to pledge a minimum price, but you can obviously pledge more if you'd like to. And that's typically the way we know about the Humble Indie Bundles and the Humble Store. But the Humble Store does sell individual games, and sometimes it has its own good deals. And right now is a great time. There are some great sales that have just popped up today on the Humble Store, and I wanted to go over a couple of these really good deals because these are some of the biggest games in VR, and there's definitely some good deals to be had, because if you missed out on all of those winter sales and like the Steam winter sale, if you missed out on all of that stuff in late December and early January, here is another opportunity to grab some really great games. So number one, you got Fallout 4 VR for $41.99. That's $42. That is 30% off Fallout 4 VR. Not a bad deal if you've been looking to grab Fallout 4 VR. Doom VFR is available for $20.99. So basically $21. That is 30% off. Gorn is $14.99, which is 25% off. Serious Sam, The Last Hope, is $19.99, which is 50% off. You can get Serious Sam, The Last Hope for $20. And this is an especially good deal from the standpoint that if you don't want to buy one of those Serious Sam bundles, which is almost like $100, but you get a whole bunch of Serious Sam games, if you're just looking to get one Serious Sam game, I don't know that the price has ever been this low. I think $19.99 might be the lowest price we've seen on Serious Sam The Last Hope. So that's not a bad deal there. Arizona Sunshine, $23.99 at 40% off. Super Hot is $16.74 at 33% off. To the Top, one of my favorites, $14.99 for 40% off. 11 Table Tennis, widely considered one of the best ping pong games you can get in the VR gaming industry. It is $9.99, which is 50% off. Heart of the Ember Stone, a really good game that came out last year, $23.99. That one's only 20% off, so not a huge discount there. But the first game, the very first episode game, is Call of the Starseed. That one is $7.99, which is 60% off. So there are many other titles that are also on sale. I did not list every single one of them, but there's definitely a lot of great values to add right there, especially I think To the Top for $15 and Serious Sam The Last Hope for $20, Gorn for $15. Those are absolutely great deals. If you don't have those games already, this is a great opportunity to grab those games, and this is at the Humble Store. Okay, well, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for today's episode. This, of course, has been episode 91 for Monday, February 5th, and that's going to go ahead and do it. Everybody have a wonderful Monday, and of course, I will see everybody tomorrow on Tuesday. So take it easy. Later.